Another piece of detailing we want to look at would be railings, though if we go to the CAD file, you'll see on this house there are no railings, there's no balconies, no second floors, but for the sake of this tutorial, maybe this front porch, we will add some railings in here just for some extra detail and really show you how that works, and it would be the same for the most part throughout. So if we go to um, this file here, this is another one of what we call our junkyard files, where it's a collection of railings from various projects. And again, this is in our library collection on the server. And this one's blocks, elevations, railings. You'll see this one has various posts and pickets and balusters and whatever, just pieces here to make railings, as well as some combinations of railings. So whether you find something that works for you or something that you can take and build off of, we're always adding to this, and it's just nice to have a collection of railings to deal with. Uh, and so in here, I'm going to show you some tips of how to build railings and uh, really how you would want to use groups versus components to make your life a lot easier. So you'll see that in here, this one is a very simple railing where this was just a CAD profile that was this right here that we brought in and just simply extruded out, and it was a quick down and dirty railing. We put a little cap on it and just copied the posts wherever we needed them, and uh, for lack of a better term, let the chips fall where they may when it comes to posts and pickets. So you can see this pickets engaging in and all that kind of stuff. So this was a very basic down and dirty railing that really serves its purpose well. Maybe we can look at something like this, where similarly the profile for the frame was brought in, but then the pickets were built individually. So you'll see that this is a group versus the pickets would obviously be made as components. So that if I edit this component, all of them change to be consistent, but there's no need for this to be a component, especially if, um, let's say we turn this into a group and we have, say, columns sitting on either side. We'll do something like that, and we'll put this guy right there. So, that railing is sitting right there next to those columns, and maybe this one, instead of being equidistant, is maybe just a little bit bigger, and we would do the same thing here. So there's really two schools of thought when it comes to railing. Typically, I leave them as like the whole mess of pieces together as a group, because if I were to copy this over and it's a component, I forget to make it unique and I adjust it, then this one adjusts, and so sometimes it's easier to make it a group instead of a component. Or if you want to be diligent about it, you can make this one a component, and then we'll copy this one from here to here, and we'll make sure we make it unique. And then what's great is, since it's a component, I'm going to mirror it and place it here so that you see when I work on this, I can edit this one as well. Let's take our little example out here a little bit, so that again, so you can see if as I edit this one edits. So you just have to be diligent about how you use groups versus components, as both from a combined package standpoint as well as an interior parts situation as well. Meaning this handrail, I typically leave this as a group, because if this is a component, the whole piece is a component. If I edit this group, you'll see that the group edits here because it's inside of a component. Now, if this were a component to begin with, then I would have to make it unique because otherwise this one would adjust, and it can really start to become a mess if you too many things are components. And similar, this setup here of this frame, again leaving it as a group versus component would just make life much easier. So you see if I pull this over, it's going to pull over say 2 feet. So I know I want to pull this over 1 foot. It allows these two to adjust without this one adjusting. So it just makes life a lot easier if you accurately use groups versus components. So we can copy those over and then move this. And there you go. So there's an adjusted piece of railing. So we have a long one, a short one, and a long one, and these two are related to each other. And so um, it's just a quick discussion about groups versus components when it comes to railings, because it can get messy pretty quick if you're not using them correctly. So let me undo all this and put my poor railing back in place. There we go. And so let's pick a railing and build one on our model, and use some of these things that we just talked about. Maybe we'll do something simple, um, simple like these pieces, or maybe we'll do something a little fancier like this. So we'll bring this piece in and we'll edit it and tailor it to our purposes. So I'm gonna come in here and let's just add our railing, and I'm gonna start it off. We'll put center to center, and maybe I want the post off 3.5 inches. And now we can start editing this group. So let me leave that post there because I know that one works. Actually, we'll copy that 5 feet, and we'll copy this one 5 feet, just so that we can use these pieces as a reference even. So maybe we'll copy this to here. So with this in place, let's maybe try and find a center location. So we'll just draw a quick line here, and we will add this piece to the center, erase out, and similarly we'll copy this over to here and move him back 3.5. So you can see we start putting our railing together. We'll copy this piece up, and again, this one we want to keep as a group. It just tends to work better um, by keeping certain things as groups or certain things as components. Um, and now to fill in this gap, it's a pretty neat trick you'll see on this particular picket here. This looks like a nice continuous piece, and looks like two different pieces, but really the way I built this, let me see if I can do this. You'll see it has a base piece as well as the picket, and what I did was, actually I'm going to unhide everything and recreate it to show you what I did. So really the easiest way, because if I were to just do this, because this is really all the pieces that I want. So if I were to unhide, it puts in these lines, and I don't like these lines because it shouldn't be there. It should look like a continuous piece, but as a component it needs to end somewhere. So all I do is I come in here, I double click this face, which includes these lines, right click, hide, same thing, double click, right click, hide, and so now those lines disappear, and I just deal with what I want to see. And so now I have these pickets as components, so if these pickets ever need to change, or maybe we want to do something really wide for whatever reason, I can quickly change this picket and it changes all of those. So it's a great way of creating a setup of pickets. So with that note, we will copy these over, And I turned on hidden geometry, which shows the lines, which my hotkey is W. So you see if I press W on and off, it shows my hidden lines, which works out well for me to grab pieces. And similarly, come back over here and just plop it in. And looks like maybe I have a little bit of a gap, so let's try doing something like this, grabbing two of them, and we will slide it over 2 inches and do something like that. And this is off here by, that's an eighth of an inch. I don't know, there's maybe not a better way of doing this, but either way, just quickly showing you kind of what's going on. So there's a railing that's built really quick. Maybe we can get rid of this background piece. And so maybe this right now, this is a group, but maybe we turn this one into a component so that we can copy it over to here. And so this way, if we edit this one will update as well. Let's see here, this one is 4'8", this is 5 feet. And so we will just grab this by center point or midpoint and rotate it. And so we know that this is 4 inches total bigger. So easy enough, but we just need to make sure that we say make unique so that we're not editing these front two. We're going to slide this over 2. We can grab these guys and slide over 1. So grab this guy, slide over 2, and slide over 1. And so again, since this is only a group, I don't need to make it unique, so it makes it much easier. And there you have it. Added in some railings, which just adds a nice little bit of extra detail. And it's nice to always have thickness to the railing. Just adds a little bit better casting of shadows and shade and all that good kind of stuff. So there you have it. And really, doing balconies would be the same thing. You would just copy them up and build. So otherwise, that's really it. Just you just want to be careful as to which pieces you build as components, which pieces you build as groups. So even in here, say this Chinese lattice piece, to make things easy, I actually built, I'll show you, that this section here is actually a component that I simply just found the center point there and just rotated 90 degrees, 3x for array. So now if I have to come in here and edit this, you know, maybe this again gets a little fatter. I just have to really edit this one time and not 4 times. You know, just whatever it needs to be, just fixing all the pieces. We'll do this piece real quick, no big deal. This one's a little easier. I can just pull that out of the way. And there you go. So there's that fatter piece, and you can see it happens in all 4 places. But yet this piece here is simply a group because there's no reason for it to be a component. Similar to the frame, it's just a group. So again, you just want to be mindful as to what works well as groups, what works well as components. Obviously, these posts would be components so that you can edit those. So once you populate them, you know, 10, 20, 40 times throughout your model, you just edit it once and deal with it that way. So that should be it on railings. You can see we have all different kinds, cable rails or, you know, lattice or whatever, even very detailed ones. This was brought in from a CAD file that had a very detailed railing, and actually you can see this is just simply a flat 2D profile, or excuse me, flat 2D shape of a very elaborate railing. And if you wanted to, just come in here and pull this out, you know, say 2 inches, and run our clean command, and there you go. And you can see how much nicer this looks versus this. Just how much depth it adds, though this will add a lot of geometry and can slow down your model if you have, say, hundreds of railings around versus this. Uh, so if you're going to show off details and be up close, you'd maybe want to model your railing like this. If it's far away and maybe you're doing a 7-story tower that has hundreds of railings everywhere, and you're never going to be so up close that you see it. This could be a good way of doing it because you're minimizing the geometry quite a bit. So again, there's never a hard and fast rule as to how to do things. There's reasons why you would do things, and just be mindful as to what you're trying to accomplish, and make your choices to satisfy those choices.